Now,
So wait, did people hear my brilliant sports card bit?
Oh, we heard
Oh, they
it.
heard it. They
Because
heard it
if
loud.
they
They
didn't,
heard
I
it
do
loud
have
and
an
not
Upper
so
Deck
clear.
Evolution Troy gloss. And it's a Kobe Bryant rookie. See, Ray, this is how boring it is to do that.
I really was like, why is he doing this?
I was doing it as a phony bit, and I'm even flop sweating. I do have some political acumen. I'm no Chrissy Mayer. But the thing is, I'm very what? I didn't get the memo. Anyway,
sarcastic.
For me, the last few months, working a deal has meant something very literal and incredibly stressful. But
did you see those two dumb fat twats that have gotten to? I love this. They CGI or they AI. I'm so old. They AI thumbnails so they look like women, you know. And they're like, oh my God, Geno thinks he's the linchpin in the revenge porn case. I'm like, did I don't think I've said linchpin since I was working my big brother's deal under a pink blanket. I don't think I have, but they're all idiots. And now people are monetizing it. Sorry, go, baby.
Ray is your Melanie Mac. I have Mac derangement syndrome. You have Ray derangement syndrome.
I'll say it again. I don't have a problem with I don't have a problem
I know
with
you
Melanie
don't.
Mac.
I do.
I don't have a problem with Natalie Cuomo, who's sweeping the internet. I have a problem with all these people.
Either. Yeah.
I have a problem with all these people who like try and be like, oh no, what a hero this girl is for standing up to that guy. No, she's a comic, and I love Natalie Cuomo, and it bothers me because I've seen her stand up. She's been on In Hot Water, the old one, not this one in my studio apartment.
We'll invite her over
in my apartment, in my one-bedroom studio apartment. And it just bothers me. Like, this is what goes on the internet. And then Lev Ferrer, I got to put it up. Comedian out here, put out tweets like, well, you know, we gotta start standing up to all these YouTubers and stuff that are taking over, you know, social media to get No, we've all people that follow In Hot Water, people that listen. We've been bitching about that forever. We like no.
Lev Ferrer does live streams. I've seen him do.
But Lev Ferrer that does live streams.
Well,
I hate to be Midwestern.
And me, yeah.
What's a Natalie Cuomo?
She's the one that's sweeping the interwebs.
Oh, the one that yelled at the guy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I watched that and I'm like, oh, she's having a bad night on stage.
She's kind of a friend of ours. I just thought that it was a little too cringe for me. I thought that she's smarter and she could have like put them in their place in a better way. But look, it went viral. So
yeah, I didn't really see that as a big a deal as other people did. I just kind of went, she's having a rough night on stage. She's, lashed out at a guy. What do you do?
Yeah,
that's the thing is like before everyone had before phones were out at every comedy club, every comedian had that night. Like every comedian had a story about how that happened.
I never had a night like that. People love my jokes, and I'm so charming and likable.
You've never walked a table ever, or an entire room.
I tried to do a show that two assholes canceled on, and when I had to do more time. I struggled because everyone was drinking all day and they all just started chanting the N-word. And I was like, well, there was one person who could have navigated this situation, but he decides I'm an asshole now. So I got to deal with this on my own.
Watch this. Get it all out because this is how we move on. You're not wrong. But again, I was going on the information I had and it was too much. And I was going through a bit of a bumpy ride myself at the time. Okay.
Well, I know you were going through a bumpy ride because I was sending you borderline homosexually supportive text messages about if there's anything I could do to help.
I don't know when this all happened.
I was texting those in the background. I hear,
you get it? By the way, that wasn't a work.
No, it wasn't. Handcuffs are cold.
But look how much joy it's bringing us now.
But again, I'll say this again, Toe. I'll say it again, Aaron. Say what you want, but that was bullshit on those other three people's parts. Okay?
I am not going to discuss it any further.
Oh, I apologize. Sure.
I am very glad that all past issues have been worked out, and
it's not really convincing.
And I'm sure, no, I'm actually sincere about that part. I'm trying my absolute hardest not to comment on anything. And how
bored are you? We don't do this. I don't get it, Toe.
I talk to you, and my odds of going to jail go up incrementally. You know what we got to do one time when we do one of these and there's booze kicking back and forth between the three of us? Here's a great story for air. And I think it should only be told by Keanu and I at the same time, because if we each tell our version of it, we'll up.
Ooh, what is it?
October, when my girlfriend and I were at a Gopher game, and there was somebody was having a meltdown online, and it was the thing that finally caused Keanu to, and this was in the midst of people, had the balls. People say like, "Oh, Aaron, you're gonna pick up the phone. Keanu's a snake." Do you know when you have that kind of like anger and hostility and stuff, like how much balls it takes to actually pick up a phone and call that person?
Yeah,
it takes a lot. But I think that story of how that day shook out, and like the next day when we finally like spoke on the phone and everything, it's actually a very fascinating story. It's not for now.
Our versions of it are different because, like I say, you have a grandiose bit of exaggeration, but you're right. I mean, the end point is the same of what
if
happened.
I tell the story on a stream versus if I tell the story privately,
right,
they are the drama is less when I tell the story personally.
I mean,
because
it was pretty
the last
dramatic.
thing I want to do when I tell the story is bore people.
Right. But
you.
Not to say it's not an interesting thing that happened, because it was pretty dramatic. I was pretty freaked out. So yeah, it's we will have to save this for another.
My point A and my point B are always correct.
Yes.
While I'm getting from point A to point B, I bring in crescendos of orchestra music.
Yeah, you're dancing around.
I bring in some things, and the things I may be saying may be technically true, but they're being,
right.
I use some descriptive language. Instead of saying, and then there was a phone call, I would say, and then in a dramatic moment where both people are losing their minds and the stress is out of control and nobody knows what's going on, the phone rings. That's how I might tell the story of the actual phone call.
And then the doorbell rang. And Keanu was there, standing in the rain, crying, saying, "I'm so sorry, Aaron."
And I untied the neckerchief, and her head fell off.
Yes. It was terrifying.
And then we went outside the next day, and there was a phone line that led right to the grave.
Exactly. It was terrifying. Hey, on the bright side, Aaron's help you make it a little extra money today. Hey, yay for us.
You mean like back in the day when Keanu was shitting all over me and said I never paid them?
I didn't say you never did.
I said that, and I'll own that. It's like, watch this. Take this any way you want. We didn't want your money. We were like, we'll help you out. And then you're like, well, I said it like,
and I would, and my conscience.
And I apologize right now if any way I made you look like an asshole, which I did. I apologize that I did, but it's like, we don't want your money. We're your friend. And it's like, don't talk about the money. That pissed me off.
I understand.
Maybe I was wrong, but that's why it pissed me off. Fair enough.
I understand, but I was responding to someone else saying, Keanu and Geno said you never paid them.
Yeah.
And I went,
no, that's a lie. We said, and you can look this up, we never said, I may have said, I'd rather he never paid us because we were doing you a favor. And once you started paying us every 2 weeks, like 100 here and there, and don't get me wrong, I was back when I was making very good money. And those things, if you want to send me that money now every 2 weeks, that's fine. But you know what I mean? Like, that's all. And I'm not running from it, Aaron. That's why, but we never said Aaron never paid us. We definitely said, Aaron, you didn't need to pay us. And then you were saying you made it more than it was, in my opinion. That's all it was.
And this is
not
the
running
game
from
of
it. You go, baby. I'm sorry.
This is the game of telephone that goes on. Just like someone said that I said that your house was filthy. I said the exact opposite of that. I was saying to I think the Onion, I'm like, no, you guys are wrong. It's a completely like well put together house. What you're seeing is like the kids' corner of they're like arts and crafts. I've been there. It's spotless, but this is the game of telephone that goes on. So someone tells you they said that you never paid them. No, we were saying, yeah, some Venmos would go to just Geno, and then maybe a week was missed, but we mostly said we didn't even care. We're your friends. We don't need you to pay us, you
And
know.
from your perspective, that's fine. From my perspective, I couldn't in good
I'm looking
conscience
for something, baby. Take me off. Take me off.
Sorry.
Thank you, though. I'm sorry.
I couldn't in good conscience not give anything.
Of course. No, I mean, and we really appreciate, especially now that we're in the gutter. But no, I mean, but that's the game of telephone that goes on.